up.
Keep going.
Menstruous children is not there.
Oh, it's not there, is it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you got it, Devon. You got it.
You know what that's about.
It's about the permanent. Another bit, the internet, the books will open. But the rest at the bottom.
Yeah. I might as well break it down. Might as well break it down.
What's he gonna read?
Read 2 Ezra 1 as well.
Are you gonna get 2 on that?
Hey, break it down. You do that.
What was the point you're going into?
It's because he's talking about science.
Well, you can get 21. You can just get the scriptures that he can break down.
You get that, yeah?
The particular verse, verse 9. Verse 9.
You can start with verse 9.
Luke chapter 21 verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you.
Yeah, read up a verse, brother, and slow it down so he can.
But like another thing that's happened now, yeah, with wars and rumors of war, like the situation in Venezuela, that's brought forth another proxy war.
Yeah.
I don't know if you brothers know proxy war. Basically, America and Russia is like, instead of them fighting directly, what they do is they both back up a different government or a different military group to fight, and then they fight each other through those
ISIS and
and the Syrian group.
Anyone have credit for a phone call? I've asked the whole of King's because no one's got credit.
Nah, we don't know, man. We don't know, sorry, man.
Your brother, can you phone the number?
So now, like for example, America, this guy, we got the president of Venezuela, Maduro. If anybody knows how to pronounce his full name, Maduro. And then you get the other guy who just, because he got voted in the government, right? But then now another guy, the other guy who just came up from nowhere and then declares himself, that guy is no longer president, I'm the president now. He was not voted in or nothing, but then he's being backed by Russia, so like he's being backed by Donald Trump, America, he's being backed by Britain, France, and then the other guy, the actual rightful president, he's being backed by Russia, he's being backed by China, Syria have backed him, I believe Iran is one of the countries that have backed him. And then Russia, they sent in 2 fighter jets, they are nuclear capable fighter jets, and they sent in I believe they sent in army commanders to go and back his army up.
Yeah, you know why I was laughing, right? Because they're doing the same similar thing that they did in Syria to Bashar al-Assad.
Yeah.
Because Bashar al-Assad, he was rightly voted in with the people.
Yeah.
Right? But then they wanted to try to override Bashar al-Assad and put a boogeyman in there.
Yeah. So now, because there is no ways you can go to a country and then claim to be a president, because the president, first of all, the army has to back you. Yeah. You have to be backed by the army. They back you up, and this is how you can make all these. You can put, you can set up your laws, your parliament system, and everything. So now this guy, for him to come up and say, listen, so that just shows you he's a puppet, because he just came and claimed he's a president. I'm the interim president, and this guy, nobody to recognize this current president as a president. You cannot do that unless you have an army backing you. So now America has come up and said, we're going to have an EU. So already now, you're in a situation whereby now there have a proxy war going on now, fighting for control. Or 2 countries backing one president and another country backing one president in the country, and they two fighting against each other.
Yeah.
So proxy wars now eventually they lead to major wars. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Because what they found out, right? You know, what's his name? What's the guy's name, man? Oh man, what's his name, man? John McCain. John McCain was found pretty much dealing with these people that were supposedly members of ISIS, I believe, if I'm correct, or ISIL. And basically, which makes sense because where does ISIS come from? Information's already out. The ISIS was pretty much formulated by the Israeli, I believe, something to do with the Israeli or the U.S. intelligence, which is who came up with the group, which is called ISIS. Okay, and John McCain and them cats, they was hanging around them guys. All right, but ISIS is supposed to be this supreme terrorist group that the American military is supposed to go down there and destroy. Even Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is another group that was set up by the U.S. Okay, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. So it's going back to what the brother is saying. It's all a proxy war. They're using these different military powers that they falsely so-called set up to fight other, other military so-called, and that's like the brother said, it's all going to lead to war.
They've been doing that for a long time, man. They've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
They create all these terrorist groups. First of all, they back them up with all the military gear to fight their governments, and when that happens, then they declare that group a terrorist group.
Yeah.
So that's how Al-Qaeda, ISIL, that's how they all came about, man. Because just figure, how is a bunch of Arabs in the desert, how are they getting weapons?
Yeah, cars.
Cars, weapons, because they've been fighting them for years and years and years. So where are they getting their weapons from, man? Bunch of Arabs in the desert somewhere. Where are they getting them? Who's funding them? How are they getting their weapons? Are they just going into a village and then rob their pennies and they use that to buy guns? Somebody big out there funding them. You know what I'm saying?
But you got people that actually believe in that these groups are natural terrorists, but not even did even do the back research on it. You find out that these fucking groups were set up by the Western powers, man. Like the brother said, Al-Qaeda, right? Which you got some people that they pronounce it CIA, which is what it is. Okay, and then you got ISIS, which stands for the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, something like that. So it's all of these different so-called military powers which are declared terrorists. They're set up, man. Set up. Because you're not going to get no Arab that's going to be pretty much rolling around in the desert. All of a sudden, he finds a treasury of weapons and guns. Come on, man. Someone's giving them those weapons and guns. There's a reason why the ISIS or ISIL is a powerful group of people. The reason why they're powerful is because they were given that power by certain Central Intelligence Agencies. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just let the brother flow in the spirit.
Yeah, Psalms 55 and 20. For a long time, man, this has been doing that, man. Creating wars. Because what they do, if they cannot control you, they'll create all these, it will not easy. All these nations around the world that are somewhat peaceful is because they already do what they get told by Esau. All these countries whereby they have rebel, they have all this internal warfare going on. They have opposing governments, they have civil wars and so on and so forth. Yeah. Because one way or another, they rebel, they go in power, and then they rebelled against Esau, and then Esau just funded somebody else. They funded somebody else to overthrow their government, and then they come in place a government that Esau can control.
That's pretty much it, Yeah. Exactly.
If you go like to a lot of the African countries, when they got their independence, you had the first president after independence, and a lot of them, they wanted total freedom from the so-called white man, from Esau. But what happened as soon as they did, because that just shows you none of them are independent. Okay, all these countries are independent from Esau, because first of all, the ones that wanted total independence from Esau just took guns and funded. If you look at all their stories, Congo, there's particularly Congo, that's a number one example. You had Angola. All the civil wars that happened in that country is because whoever got in power first, they rebelled against Esau, and then Esau funded somebody else to overthrow the government.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. And brother, just to add in, right? Because like I was saying before, because I thought I was wrong, but just to clarify what the brother's saying about the proxy wars, showing you that ISIS is a group set up by the Western powers. 'Cause look who's right along with the group. That's John McCain, right?
Yeah.
Linking up with the ISIS group.
Yeah, you see they're Russians.
You see?
Send me that.
What's that, brother?
Send me that.
I mean,
All right, man.
Arabs.
Send me a screenshot
Arabs.
of the link.
Yeah.
Send me that as well. I need to get into it.
John McCain, yeah.
Yeah. So it's all bullshit, man. They just put it out there in the media to say, look, ISIS this and ISIS that. We gotta go and get these groups, but they set up fucking groups.
ISIS. That's Egyptian.
Exactly.
That's an Egyptian god. That name alone lets you know that's something to do with it, bro. Some type of connection. ISIS.
That's pretty much all I wanted to bring out, man. Clarify that.
Psalms 55 verse 20. And it says, He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
Yeah, like every single nation that Esau went into, the first thing they did, they woke up Esau. If you look at the history, there's other ones that like they looked at him, the ones that saw the so-called white man for the first time, they were like, nah, what is wrong with him? And if you read some of the stories, the ones, post-slavery and all that, but the ones afterwards, when they all started off peacefully, they gave him, they shared what they had with him, okay? All these other times, like what they did, like for example, like you go to Iraq, when read that against Iraq.
And it says, He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
All these countries, like the very reason why Esau went in there was to what? We want to bring democracy. We want to, make sure that the children go to school and all that, all those things. But in their mind, what they wanted was the resources for that land. Okay. As soon as they could not get the agreements that they wanted, what did they do, man? They brought war in their country, man.
Yeah. Somehow demonized them, say they got guns, say they got weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yeah.
His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords.
Yeah. Democracy, little Ishmael can go to school and all that stuff. That's what they show you on TV,
Little Elon.
Yeah.
We're gonna put all of them in little issue. Little ham.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was nice.
Because that's what they show you on TV all the time, man. And then they'll show the leader of that country as they all show the worst picture ever, man. Dictator this and. Because can you imagine a leader that he wants nothing but to kill his people?
Yeah.
Wow. Can you imagine all he's doing just going around killing his people for no reason?
That's stupid.
That is stupid, man.
There's a reason behind it.
That's exactly what they'll show you on TV.
Because Esau can't just roll up in there with his militant groups and invade a country, and still maintain a good image in the media. He needs to make a reason for him to justify himself going up in that country.
Just like they did in I think it was Afghanistan, right, where Bush was in office, and Bush pretty much declared war against Saddam Hussein.
After 9/11.
Yeah, and the reason why Bush went down to go get at Saddam Hussein, or pretty much put him to death, is because Saddam Hussein, he wanted to he didn't want to use the American dollar to exchange for the oil, so they pretty much put him to death because the American dollar. It's very important that the American dollar is backed by some kind of oil. That's why they call it the country dollar.
Like the other guy again, Gaddafi. But Gaddafi said, Africa is rich on its own.
Yeah.
We can trade on our own, and then we can set up the rules on what we have to trade with, man. And he said for our oil, our resources, Africa, let us ask for gold instead. We bring gold and we give them our resources.
Exactly. Yeah.
And straight away, what did they do, man? They went there, they gave us all this talk about the dictator and whatever. And they used to say in Libya, school was free. If you could not afford to buy it, you need to certain age, they'll fund you, because Libya was rich, so they'll fund you to buy a house, to set you up and everything. Because there are so many things. The cities of Libya were beautiful cities, but then they show you the before cities of Libya, and then they show you the after cities of Libya, after Gaddafi got killed.
Yeah.
And what is not showing? Nothing but destruction, man.
Exactly, and that's what ESAU does, man. I'm gonna give it back to the brother, but that's what ESAU does. ESAU, the so-called white man, what he does is he can't be at peace. What he does, he will go through into someone else's country and then pretty much destroy the whole thing if he don't get his own way.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. You know?
He bears full sweetness.
Yeah.
They were even drinking clear water, I was hearing. Nice clear water they were drinking.
Precept. This is Proverbs 12 verse 20. Deceit is in the hearts of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. Verse 22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight.
That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah.
And this whole system from America all the way to Europe, whatever, it was all founded on lies, death, and destruction. You know, till today, it's been going on for so long that even till today, they cannot stop showing the power of their sword because that will bring their downfall, man. You know, they have to continue to stay on top. That's why it was hidden, so they have to continue to stay on top. As soon as they put their weapons down, the other nations are coming for revenge.
Yeah. And that's the
About 2 and 3.
You see you see how the spirit is working with you, right? Now the scriptures is coming in my way. So that's what you gotta do, brother. Have a quick chapter 2 is lifted up.
Yeah. No, not this one. That's something else.
Habakkuk 2.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Behold his soul. Okay. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
Yeah, so his soul which is lifted up because they are proud, isn't it? So it says it's not upright in him, man. And this is why it says, I believe it's Isaiah. It says, what does it say? Show something to the wicked, and yet they shall not learn righteousness.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's in Daniel's. No, that's something else.
Isaiah.
I read on Salah.
Their favor will be shown to the wicked.
Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
Transgressing by wine, all these lies and philosophies that they've created and deceive the whole world with. Okay? From their religion to their politics to the way their governments are run. Okay?
He enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death.
Enlargeth their desire as hell and is as death, man.
Yeah.
Everything about them is death, man. Even their food, the air, that when I was coming here, man, I was looking up the sky and all I could see just about 3 planes at the same time, just spraying them chemtrails. You know? And that's the same air that they're breathing.
Yeah.
You know?
Little old Ishmael go to school.
Can imagine some little Arab kid.
Yeah, that's what they show you. They'll show you a little sad Arab there, just eyes up and down. And you actually feel sorry for them, like, nah, man, this guy's gotta go, man. You know? I can't believe those people, you know, you feel sorry for them.
To a certain degree, but you know though, they were the same people that put our people in slavery, so they deserve what they
You're in
get.
the world, you don't know anything. Yeah, so, you know.
Verse 6. Actually, let me go back to 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be.
Like it says, never keep it at home, and they don't mind they're in everybody's business. You know, creating wars and trying to choose who should be president in your own country. Countries that have nothing to do with them, man.
That's all fuck.
They're in their home.
Yeah.
That clip you sent me where this Edomite approached this Hamit's car, asking them for some food, and then he was like, where is that? Where are you? What's wrong with you white people taking black people's stuff? Where are you? Because I don't know, I was just searching for food. I would be the last man on earth to give you food. You white people are murderers.
He can't go nowhere to get. He's on the beach. He said, he's on the,
Yeah, here I'm on the beach, I'm working, and you're coming to disturb me. Why are you doing this? I watched that clip, that's how you laugh, man. He just comes up, and the guy he looked very perplexed. He's like, no, I was just trying to ask for food.
Yeah, because I was reading the comments, everybody started jumping the defense for ESAU, man. I can't believe, because you know what is it? Like, people are looking at the like things being turned around upon ESAU, and they're feeling sorry for ESAU, man. Nah, we can't be like this, you know, being unforgiving and all that. You know what I'm saying, man? You know? And Jack is number one to try and forgive ESAU, man.
Yeah. Top of the list.
Yeah.
Top of the list. Out of all people. I don't mean to cut. I mean, the people on earth that's been slaughtered the most by the so-called white man, they're top of the list for forgiveness. They're top of the list, even though they've been the most persecuted by ESAU, they're top of the list for forgiving them. How does that make sense?
Yeah, because they've been conquered. When you're a nation that's been conquered, you will bow down to master and you will feel sorry for master. That's just the conqueror mentality. Because when Jake was in power in Europe, they didn't have that mentality. That's just a race of people that's been conquered. You know, that's what that is.
And I like, because you said Gaddafi, he said Africa has all the minerals, let's require gold in exchange for the minerals. Like, our people wouldn't think like that. In Ghana and Congo, they will never think like that. They will never have that type of arrogance, that type of bravery to require these types of things.
Yeah, because they've been conquered.
Exactly.
They don't know what's going on. They've been conquered.
Exactly. But Gaddafi, he's of another nation. He's got more sense because he hasn't been conquered. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been put down to the point where his senses have been beaten out of him.
Yeah, because I was watching a documentary about Congo. So now they're just going through, like, speaking about the guys that go in the mines to dig for that mineral that they use in the phones and everything. The guy's been poor all his life, and he was saying, how do I tell my children that they're going to be poor for their life? And then basically he was saying the leadership in those countries. He was saying like, these presidents, he said, ESAU chooses who should be leaders in these countries. But that's what they say. He said they spoke about their current presidents and how they got assassinated. And he said, listen, ESAU, basically, whether you want to or not, whichever country you are, ESAU still in control of the whole world.
Exactly, yeah.
This is ESAU's world.
This is his world, yeah.
You know?
But you got Jakes that will say, well, you can't say he controls everything. Yeah, he does. Because if he's able to put in boogeymen that he can control to set law and order in their country, then that's complete power right there.
Right.
And that's the kind of power we're gonna have in the kingdom, where we're gonna be able to set up different leaders of these other nations, and they're gonna correspond with what we say go down. That's why it says in the scriptures, out of Zion shall go forth the law. All right, but yeah, brothers, it's about that time, innit? So with that being said, brothers, we're gonna come back out here another week. First and foremost, gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Shalak Rayam to this society, man. You know, and with that, brothers, we're gonna close out. Shalom.